I'm also a physical therapist here at Kinetic, so I just came upstairs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our organization. So this was started in 2017 by my coworker Kelly Keller, who's also a physical therapist. I had a patient for a while that I really wanted to get a bike. We were working on the bike here in the clinic, and I was like, we need to get her one. And I realized that the closest place was up in Hendersonville, and we had to go all the way to North Carolina, get her the bike, and come back. And after that, Kelly and I were talking. I was like, we should do our own chapter. So we started together, I guess, last year. And our goal is to not only provide adaptive bikes for children, but also for veterans with disabilities in the upstate area. A little bit of history on the background. We were asked this before. It all started in about the 1920s. There was an Auburn grad that wanted to start a program where businessmen could provide their services and volunteer in the area. And they started the first American Business Clubs, which is where the Ambucs name comes from. But it wasn't until the 1990s when a physical therapist by the name of Sue Haywood in Texas, she really needed help getting funds and to also create and build these bikes for her kids, and reached out and kind of started the first chapter. And now there are more than 5,000 members in the area, over 100 chapters serving several states around the country, which is really cool. So this is our board members for right now. So Kelly, she's our president, and then me. We have a CPA who works as our treasurer. Our secretary, Andrea, she works for GE and is just great about helping us behind the scenes. Of course, our social media chair, Kristen, and then Randy, who owns Carolina Tri and works with us in order to build the bikes and also get the bikes to his shop, where we kind of have a set location because they kind of come in big boxes. So how does this work? So once we get either the child or the veteran with disabilities on our wish list, we schedule time to fit them with one of our OTs or PTs. Ambucs requires that an occupational therapist or physical therapist fit them. Now if the patient or the rider is already seen a physical therapist, either in a different clinic or at Shriners, then usually we'll just work with that therapist. They know the child best, but we kind of know the different equipment and different models that would work for the patient. So once we decide, okay, you're going to get this model with these different gadgets, it's going to cost this much, then we start the fundraising process. We've applied for a couple grants. We also, families will either donate their birthday or kind of work together to help raise money for the bikes as well. And then once we have the funds, we go ahead and order, and then once it gets here, it gets sent to the shop. Actually, I'm working on this bike right now to deliver it, and so when we put it together, we work with the mechanics at Carolina Tri, which they are great help, especially for those really big bikes with different gears. I can do this one, but some of those recumbent bikes are a little trickier. So here are just some pictures of the different bikes that we have. There's so many extra things you can add to it depending on what supports they need, or if they need help with head control, we can give them a headrest. These top ones are just our early intervention ones, our smaller ones, which you can see we either have just standard foot propelling, hand only, or both. If we have a child that either has a spinal cord injury and they can only use their hands, then it might make more sense to just have a hand. Or if all four of their extremities are very weak, then maybe using all four together can help them propel a little bit more. We also have, you see these four over here, what's called a rear steering kit. So from behind, the parent or caregiver can help propel it, especially if they're still weak. Some of these trikes are heavy, so at first they might not be able to do it 100% on their own, but as they get stronger, they might get there. And then these bottom two are for our either teenagers or our veteran population. We found that this recumbent bike is great just where the hand placement is, as well as that custom fit back is really nice for them, and they really like that as well. And again, there's a lot of other things that we can add to them depending on what they need. Okay, so far since we started, we've served a total of 40 either veterans or kids just all together. We currently have 9 bikes that need to be built that are at Carolina Tri, which is why I was kind of working on that one. And then in addition, we have 19 riders on our wish list, and that includes, let me see, 5 veterans, 12 kids, and then 2 adults that are on that list. So we're in the process of fundraising, applying for grants, kind of spreading the word out. We also do events in the community. Here I just have pictures. We've done Cycle Bar, which we found is not only fun for us when we go do it, but also has gotten us some pretty good funds to get bikes for other kids and veterans. So we also have different events throughout the year. Since we're so new, we're still trying to figure out, but our goal right now is to have a fall bike day as well as a spring bike day. We will give bikes throughout the year, but we kind of like to designate, okay, we're going to have this bike day, which we're having on September 23rd, and give a bunch of bikes as one. So we have an obstacle course for the kids, we get barbecue, and kind of make it a fun event. And what I love is our partnership with Carolina Tri, like they actually come to a bike shop to get their bike, instead of going, I don't know where, to get, like when we went with that one girl, we had to meet in a parking lot somewhere to get it, you know. So I just think that's really fun. And I think my favorite part about doing all of this, this little girl, was just having a blast, and Mom, you can see, was chasing her, and I heard Mom say, like, be careful, watch out for your brother. And like, these kids don't hear that. Like, they just don't. They're always carried, or they, especially on a bike, or they can make, she has a hard time walking, but you put her on that and she just took off. So you can just see how just maybe doing that a little bit more might even help her. And then it's a fun activity. Like, all her siblings have a bike, and so she wants to do it too. We also have a couple veterans, like since they've had either back injuries or surgeries, they want to get out and go ride their bike with their kids or go for a bike ride, and they just can't. They can't do a regular bike. So it's been cool to have those families too come in with those needs as well. So yeah, if you guys want to help out with our fall bike day, we're still figuring out the details. Or if you just want to come and check it out, get some barbecue, should be pretty fun, and then kind of see the kids do the obstacle courses. Hopefully we'll have good weather. It almost poured on us that day, but it did not. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions or?
Where will that fall bike day be?
It'll be at Carolina Triathlon. I don't know if you guys know where that is actually. It's near AJ Wittenberg. It's in a, I guess, more of an industrial zone. They're going to make it into something really cool, but right now it's just Carolina Tri. It's off of Swamp Rabbit Trail near, like I said, AJ Wittenberg, over that way.
It's like, yeah, it's not far from here. So if you went on the road that's between here and Agfa, it's Washington.
Yeah.
If you went down there and then you took a left at the light where Miracle Hill is, you go down there, you cross a little something, and you take a right on Wellborn, and it's down.
Yeah, it's 123 Wellborn is the address.
If you get to the Swamp Rabbit, you've gone too far. Just turn around.
So, yeah, and those guys, I'm going to probably spend several hours there this weekend putting bikes together, but yeah, it should be fun.
Any questions for Victoria?
What do the trikes cost when you have to fundraise for?
So it really depends on what other gadgets and support the child or veteran might need. On average, they cost from about $500 to $1,000. The veteran bikes, just because they're bigger and just have a lot of extra stuff, are going to be probably around $1,200, like base cost. Because we're a chapter, we get a little bit of a discount. Like if you were to just go online and order a bike from the website, it would be a whole lot more. So we've had families that are like, oh, we have the money, we were just going to buy. Like, well, go through us because we can save you a couple $100 by just coming through our organization. But yeah, it can be kind of pricey. So some families will contribute like $100 or $50, but like to cough up over $1,000 is a lot, especially if they have medical things and other needs, which most of them do.
Do you have families that bring their kids in to be fitted?
Yeah, so if they aren't currently receiving therapy, either I or Kelly, since we're the two PTs on the board, will meet with them at Carolina Tri. What's nice too is oftentimes we'll have bikes there already that are either waiting so they can either try one, or like I said, if they're already getting therapy, then we'll send the different forms, the fitting forms, to them, as well as like photo release and waiver, all those things, and get the process going that way. But there's a couple kids right now that I need to reach out to, and we'll kind of measure them and get them fitted. It's kind of a fine line too, because they grow so fast that we're like, we don't want to order or measure way early and then it takes so long to order it. But yeah. Yes.
What is a typical time between the time they get on your list and the time they actually receive a bike?
So right now the national organization has been like super back ordered, which has been a little frustrating. We've had the funds, we've ordered the bikes, and then it takes them a while for them to get it to us. But when there isn't a glitch with that and we're able to get it and they're able to send it, it takes probably about 3 to 5 months. Again, it depends how long it takes to fundraise. We've had a couple kids like they ended up having surgery or like mom got sick, and so we kind of had to push some things back. But generally, like in a perfect world with no issues with ordering, or sometimes we'll get the bike, we'll get everything, but we were missing like one of the harnesses because it's back ordered. So we'll kind of make some modifications, but we want them to be safe and be effective when they're on it, so we'll just kind of wait until we get those parts. We've also been talking to the national organization to make it standard on the bikes to get a rear steering kit, because most of those, especially the little ones, they're going to need that. And so there were issues with that part being back ordered, and again, that's really hard to help them do anything without that piece. So the national organization is working on adding that automatically to the bikes, especially the small early intervention ones.
I have a question, could you, because really, like you were saying, that when a child is really little,
Right.
and then they grow, could they maybe like turn one back in and?
Yep. So we're still so new, but we've been talking, I went to grad school in Nashville, and the Nashville chapter is like a well-oiled machine. They have probably given almost 500 bikes away by now. And they have what they call like a recycling program, where like you give it back. That bike, I don't know how they calculate it, we're trying to figure it out because we've had that happen a couple times, but they'll get, okay, this bike's worth $200, we'll put that towards your next one, and then they kind of move them around. Yeah, we had one kid by the time, he had a huge growth spurt, and he was fitting in that one, but we knew like we were going to be needing a new one soon. So just with the way things worked out, another kid outgrew his, we got him a new one, and that one moved to another one. So we're trying to figure out how to, I guess, calculate and figure out, okay, that one's worth $200 and that one's worth that much. Because, just wear and tear, and if there's any parts missing, so.
And then you can readapt.
Right, yeah. What's cool is that the actual seat that this little boy's on, you can like totally undo it and take it off and put another one on. So if something changes or if he needs less support, we can do that. But usually the problem is we just need a whole other bike frame. Like he's just grown so much that no matter what you do to the seat, his knees are still like in his chest. So yeah, we're still figuring that out, but that's the plan. We want to kind of do something similar to what Nashville's chapter does.
And how much mobility or muscle strength do they actually need? Like, is there a qualification, like, yours is just too low, you can't apply, or he's just too...
So we've had kids that are, like, I guess, wheelchair dependent, non-ambulatory, and we get them a bike.
Okay.
Oftentimes, like, I have a girl that's one of my patients, and she can't walk, she can't stand, she can sit, but that's all she can really do. But she has some leg strength, and so I feel like maybe we could do even more, and she loves going to do the bike here, so I'm hoping if we get her one from home, that we can kind of get to those other goals. Maybe not walking, that might take us some time, but maybe some standing, help with transfers, that's where the whole therapeutic standpoint, like, that comes in. But yeah, we've had some kids, literally parents are pushing them, like they're not able to activate, but just the action of it, them moving, especially a lot of our kids that might have a lot of extensor tone, that have cerebral palsy, where their legs are just really, really stiff, just moving them in that range where one's flexed and one's extended is really, really good for so many different things. And I've even had to write either a letter for Medicaid or something, and they were able to kind of provide something too, because we could prove that this is something therapeutically would benefit the child. So yeah, it's really, and if you have any questions or if you're not sure, you can always reach out to us and be like, you know what, we've had some families be like, no, he actually might do fine on a regular, like, big wheel bike or something, instead of spending so much money for the family to get something when really they could potentially just use something from Walmart. Usually they need a little bit extra, or just that rear steering kit is just crazy lifesaver and really helps them. But yeah, we had one kid, he had no head control, like they had to hold him, so we had to really put up to get all the different pieces of equipment. He was also on an oxygen tank, so we had an oxygen tank that we ordered through the vendors. But yeah, you can always ask, or if you're just not sure, we're just like, hey, reach out to them and they can kind of guide you.
Are the adult bikes portable? Do they collapse down at all, or are they pretty much, once they're built, they're pretty big?
Yeah, we actually have a veteran on our list that he's offered several times to, like, we'll borrow his pickup truck and he'll deliver them. He was actually, I'm going to put that picture in there. He is part of like a motorcycle gang, I guess, and he showed up with like all, I had no idea, I was just meeting him. I never met him before, and this guy rolls up with all his motorcycles, and he was like, I'm here to deliver so-and-so's bike. I was like, oh. So I went all in with the motorcycles behind me and the truck, and it was just great. But yeah, unfortunately they don't. Like you can, the rear steering kit you can take off so that it's not as long, and then I usually will show parents how to take the seat off so it's not as tall. But you really need like a little bit bigger car. Like my patient that's getting one will probably have to deliver it to her house, and thankfully she lives near Swamp Rabbit Trail. So in terms of using it, they can just get on the trail.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of
a
where I was
challenge.
going, was for adults that we support, how we can load up a bunch of them and get to the Swamp Rabbit Trail.
I know, and that's something I was talking to Kelly and just our board about, like having either bike races or, a little 5K race that, our families and veterans can use their bike, but that's the hard part is the transportation. That's something too, the actual national president came to one of our bike events last time we had it, and I was talking to him like, can you change this, can you do that? And our mechanics were like, there's some things that could really be made more simple. If they just maybe tweaked a couple of the different things, and that's one of the things that's just hard. The little intervention bikes are pretty easy.
Right, yeah.
But they're still fairly heavy. So yeah, it's kind of hard to. So if they can't ride within their area, it does make it a little bit more challenging.
You need to find a landscape person that has one of those big old long
Yeah,
open trailers or whatever that you can partner with.
Right,
Find a little volunteer
Fun.
opportunity for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any adult demo bikes that are built that,
Not demo ones. We'll have some that'll
what they
be.
cost? I'm sure you don't have these laying around.
We did, the national organization when we first started gave us 2 demos, but they were like the old models, and we actually have one of them downstairs in our gym that we just keep here. It's a hand-foot one. But yeah, we tend to, it would be nice because a lot of the referrals we get for the veterans are from RCP, and because they have that kind of equipment, they've already been on a bike and know like, oh, I need this or I need that. But I'm good with the kids because I see kids and I can kind of tell, just from looking at them and seeing what they can functionally do. But with the veterans, it's a little bit harder.
Sure.
So that would be great if we had the money, extra funds for it, and just the space to store it. Because Randy's gracious enough to give us the space he's given us, but I can tell right now he's like, there's lots of boxes. It's kind of taken up from his actual store.
Sure.
Any other questions for Victoria?